Good morning, everybody. I want to take you over here where in the morning, I'm usually up about 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, and it's a perfect time for me to reflect on my life and think about where I was, where I am today, and how I'm going to get to the future and try to make the best life possible that I can. So come on over into my little corner here at Windsong Lane, a property that we purchased in September. So here's my spot where when I get up in the morning, I'm usually up by like 4:45, 5 o'clock, and I grab my coffee. I come outside, and there's this table outside of Unit B that I really enjoy spending like about an hour here. Sometimes it's 45 minutes, but it's really just a reflection time for me on where I was in my past, where I am today, and what do I have to look forward to tomorrow. It is definitely a process. I started this with, I saw Tony Robbins a couple years ago, and he was a big influence a couple years ago, and that's when things really started to change for me, when I started to implement some of the things that I was learning from him. First I start with gratitude. It's like everything that I'm grateful for. You know, when I look back at my Aunt Alice, who, just loved people and enjoyed entertaining and showing them her life and inviting people to her house and having dinners and socializing. And it really didn't matter who you are or where you came from. She just loved people. And it's reflecting about how amazing my mom was. My mom was a massive influence on my life, came from, Chester, Pennsylvania, raised 5 children. My father left when I was 3 months old, but another big influence in my life was my aunt and uncle, Chick and Kay Epperite, who my aunt was actually was my second mom, and my uncle Chick was my father role model. I mean, both of them helped raise me with the combination between my mom, my aunt and uncle, and my Aunt Alice had a big influence on my life. So I just sit here and be thankful, because I think a lot of the times in life we just get complacent of where we are and how we got there. So I think it's really good to sit and reflect of really how good things are. Where I am today, what I'm doing today. I'm paddleboarding, I'm bike riding, I have good things in my life, I have good people in my life, but it's been a journey. It's been, tough, and, but toughness brings reward. And where I am today is kind of a reward of what I worked so hard for, the past 40 years. And I'll just sit here and relax and just kind of think about what I have, but then I kind of shift of, the problems that I have. So I always teach people they get so down about 2 or 3 items. So when I go through all these gratitude things, there's usually 30 or 40 things that I'm super grateful for. But I think the block that so many people have, if we on the right-hand side, if we take a pen and paper and we write down on the right-hand side how many good things we have and gratitude for, there's probably 30, 40, 50 things we're grateful for in our life. And then I teach people to, on the left-hand side, think about the things that are bothering us in the moment. And there's not 30 or 40 things. There's usually 2 or 3 things that are affecting our life, but they fill in our minds so much because we concentrate on the negative all the time. Unfortunately, in our society, from commercialization and what we have in TV and where they lead us down this road, if you watch the news, it's usually about all the bad things that are going on. There's 20 minutes of bad, but then they pop in, 2 minutes of good, where I just think they have it backwards. So when I think about these, 2 or 3 things, they're the things that I'm not going to solve today. It's impossible to solve 2 or 3 problems in a day, but it's something that I concentrate on so I can take one off those lists. It might take a month, it might take a week, it might take 6 months to get, one of those issues or those problems or those situations, what I like to call them, because a problem is such a negative word. So it's really just 15, 20 minutes of just, calming my mind when there's not a lot of people around. And really it's about me. My life is about helping people and wanting people to have success. But I call this Steve time. And it really propels me, towards the day to concentrate on my goals and what I want to achieve, over a time period. So another thing that I do while I'm sitting here, and it usually takes about 10 minutes, I really think about where I want to be 5 years from now. You know where you are today, but life is about having a plan. And when I think about things I want to think about where I want to be in my life 5 years from now. And that's not an easy thing. You could start with a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 or 5 years from now. I like to think 5 years out. And it started with Tony Robbins years ago of just creating a picture, picture of me, in front of my home that I maybe always wanted. A picture of me standing somewhere in the world on a beach. A picture of me bike riding somewhere where I've never dreamed of bike riding before. A picture of me having friends jumping in and out of my pool, on the Intercoastal in Sarasota. A picture of me having friends, at a nice restaurant down at the bay in Sarasota Bay. A picture of me maybe someday wanting a boat and having all my friends, participate and go out, and watch the sunset and entertaining people. And what I noticed when I started this 3 years ago, one of the things I wanted to do is to live on an island. I wanted palm trees. I wanted sunsets. I wanted a healthier life, and I had a bunch of pictures of those. But then after like 6 to 9 months of doing this, it turned actually into a video of what my life would be like. And I think the advantage of doing that is it gets into your subconscious. And when I'm thinking of all these things, it came probably 2.5 years sooner than I thought it was of the 5-year plan. So I really want you to think about why I do it and why I look out 5 years from now. Because when I'm in the moment thinking about these things now, I feel like after a time period of really going through it in my mind for 3 to 4 to 5, 6 months, I almost feel like I'm already in the moment where I'm experiencing it today and 6 months from now. And it feels like I can get somewhere so much faster than that 5-year period. I know I had this vision 3 or 4 years ago of living on an island, being able to bike ride, being able to paddleboard, being able to invite friends to come down and see me somewhere beautiful where they could come on vacations with their family and their friends and enjoy time with me, and I could give them an experience that they would never forget. And you know what? That's happening now. It's happening right now in Siesta Key on Windsong Lane. The past 2 or 3 months, I started with some social media pictures and invited some friends down. They started posting pictures, and people have been coming that I haven't seen for 15 and 20 years. So I believe that impact, what's happening today, started 3, 4 years ago. There's no way that you can think about changing your life in a day, a month, or 6 months. It changes over time and you evolve it over time. So, this is what I do in the morning. This is what I think about. It gets my day started, and then I'm off to exercise, which I wasn't doing 2 or 3 years ago. So I'm off on my 20-mile bike ride, my 150 push-ups for the day, my 5 minutes or 10 minutes of leg raising. So I'll see you soon. I hope this helped. I hope this little talk that I had with you today will inspire you to take 15 or 20 minutes in the morning to reflect on your life, where you were, where you are today, and where you're going to be tomorrow. Thank you.